Number 8, let's go ahead and get to it. Communicate with your creditors. Communicate with your creditors. See, if you have unpaid debt, this is what I want you to do. You know, your credit, you say, man, my credit shot. I got these collection agencies calling me. You know, we actually communicate with debt collectors and things for our clients. But what I tell people in the midst of them having their own plan is you want to be able to do this because it can happen much faster. You want to actually call all of your debt collectors or call the companies that you owe money to, and you want to try to negotiate, all right? You want to tell them, look, I will pay you, but I want you to update my account to pay it as agreed. All right, y'all get that? I don't want you to call and just say, I'll pay or negotiate a payment plan unless they are willing to mark your credit report clean. You want to say, look, this is what I'm willing to do, but this is what I need you to do. See, because understand something. You kind of hold the keys a little bit because you the one got the money. They just got the bill. Now, obviously, your credit report looking like it's looking, but if they look at your report, they'll probably see you probably really don't care too much. So you're saying, look, I'm ready to turn this around. I want to do the right thing. In the past, things weren't really working well for me, so check this out. I'm willing to give you this amount of money, this amount of time, but in order for me to start, I need you to be able to report my file to the credit bureaus as paid as agreed. Typically, they'll agree to that, and you want them to go ahead and give you that in writing. Tell them to send a letter over that's signed via email, mail, whatever they got to do, and you'll make your first payment, and you'll be ready. Now, boom, that's going to help your credit score right away. All right, so it's important for you to be able to do that. Even if you're current with these creditors, okay, if you got credit card bills, things like that, still call and watch this. Ask for a better interest rate. Now, that's for all my people to pay your bills on time. You know, you got, you know, a little debt right now. Maybe it ain't even that much. I want you to still call if you don't even have any debt. What I want you to do is call the credit card company, even if it's paid off, and I want you to negotiate a better interest rate. One of the reasons why I know that's working right now is because the feds have lowered interest rate more times over the course of the last 2 years than they have in the last century. All right? So if interest rates are really low, that means that the banks and creditors can afford to lower interest rates because, you know, those are lower than they got to pay on the back end. So it's important for you to go ahead and call them, tell them you're thinking about transferring your balance, but you really like them, you want to stay with them, but you want to know if they can work with you and lower your interest rates, all right? If you have had an account for more than 3 months and you're current, if you got a credit card account, this is what I want you to do. Call and ask if they will increase your limit without a hard credit pull. You don't want to get more inquiries on your credit, all right? So let's say if you were at American Express, you know, and you got a $3,000 limit, you've been a current customer, you've been paying, you know, you've been there for a little while, call them and say, hey, you would like them to increase your balance. You know, you're thinking about doing some purchases in the future, but at the same time, you heard about some other car banks that would give you more of a limit, so you want to see if they will give you more limit, right? And then boom, they say, okay, well, we'll take you to 3,000 to 6,000 a day. Well, what that means is just double your capacity with that one car. That means your utilization for your credit has actually went down. The lower your utilization, the higher your credit score goes. Y'all follow me, okay? That's another one of those tricks, all right? Ask them, can you get a program that gets you free money? That gets you free money, like points. Very important. A lot of people don't talk about this, right? A lot of people don't talk about this because a lot of people don't really believe it. Say, oh, well, I don't want to charge up things on my credit card. See, the reason why you want to work really hard to get good credit is because you can get a lot of things for free. Like you can get a lot of free money when you have great credit. Like my credit score is over 800. So typically if I get things financed, I get it financed for a period of time for free because of great credit. The reason why they can do that for me is because they have other people who have not so good credit that they're charging 25%, 35%, 40% interest, okay? But it's important to understand that not only can you get free money, but what they give you are points. So they're not giving me interest on the money that I'm borrowing, but then they give me points for when I use the money on my card because I don't draw any interest because I pay my card off every month. So that means if my expenses are $5,000 or $6,000 a month, I'm paying all my expenses on that credit card, which, by the way, that the card, let's say it has a $20,000 limit, I'm always going to stay below 30% utilization. But even if I wasn't, instead of me paying the card once a month, I pay twice a month. But I'm paying it off every month. So not only am I accumulating more and more, not only am I accumulating, more and more points, but I'm also helping my credit score as well. Okay. So that's what you want to be able to do. Okay. You want to be able to do that. And actually, that's one of my other points. But let me go ahead and get through this. Next thing I want you to do in terms of calling your creditors is I want you to talk to your mortgage company right now. With everything that's going on, there may be an opportunity for you to get what we call mortgage forbearance. Also, some of my renters out there, same thing. Okay, with this second stimulus, the stimulus 3.5 that just rolled out, they got a few $1 billion in there for mortgage companies and landlords for certain types of mortgages. So you can be able to not pay your mortgage for a certain period of months. It's anywhere between 3 to 6 months, and then they're saying some maybe 12 months that you can actually not pay your mortgage and it won't go against your credit. Okay, but you got to understand what kind of program they have, because you don't want to end up paying more in the long run if you can afford it. But if you can't afford it right now, that's a program you need to look into. Don't just stop paying. You want to call them and ask if they have a mortgage forbearance program. If you're living paycheck to paycheck right now, and you're not necessarily underwater in terms of your bills, but if your mortgage company, your landlord has a mortgage forbearance program, you want to go ahead and do that. Let me tell you why. It's because you can actually allocate your mortgage or your rent payments towards your debt. So your debt is costing you money. And any way you can, get them to, not accept your rent, because your rent or your mortgage is probably your largest bill. If you can kind of put that off without it costing you anything or penalizing you, what ends up happening is you can take that money that you were going to pay them and pay it all straight to the debt. And if you're paying it to the debt, that means you're not going to have to pay more money to them because they're charging you interest every single month. Okay? Or putting more of that money into your funds to make sure that you're taken care of and you have some level of security. All right? And lastly, underneath this is you want to call the companies you pay bills to and see if they can shift your plan to a better one because you are thinking of changing to another company, i.e. your cable company. If you got a competitor in the area, you might want to call them and say, hey, you got any specials that are going on? Because I know I got cable and I'm thinking about changing the dish. All right, I'm thinking about going to DirecTV. And even though if you don't know about DirecTV, what that does is capitalism comes into play and then they try to compete. So they're like, okay, listen, well, wait a minute. Let me transfer you to our retention specialist. They get you on the line with their retention specialist, and the retention specialist is going to do everything they can to retain you as a customer, which means you save money. And every time you save money, you can put those savings into paying down debt. So eventually you can start building wealth. Yeah, that's how we do it. All right, next.